के अरमां आंसुओं में रह गए, दिल के अरमां आंसुओं में रह गए.
I just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah. Boy, problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, and I solve them, that's the goddess in me. White men great till they gotta be great. Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in this salon chair. Shampoo.
Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Fun with Law. Today we have a very fun episode because we have a very fun person with us. Today we have Sansriti Sen, not Sanskriti, Sansriti, Sansriti. Sansriti. She's from GLC Bombay and now she's the core committee member of I-PAC, which stands for Indian Political Action Committee. And she's doing some brilliant work. She's an avid campaigner for political parties and other causes that the government gives them. And she's an amazing person. She's also from Lucknow. And yes, let's begin. So, introduce yourself. What is your current profile? What do you do?
Hi guys, so I'm currently a political consultant with Indian Political Action Committee. So I have been a law student from GLC and IPAC just happened like that. So currently professionally my title is a consultant right now, not a lawyer.
That's nice. But that's the only condition to be on my show. Fun with law is that you have to be doing something different. Either you're best in your field or you're in a different field. That's what is required. Sansriti, what's your day at I-PAC like? What do you exactly do? Can you explain it to us? Because I don't know if my introduction was proper.
So I-PAC is not exactly a workplace which is very easy to be in, or the kind of work I do is not very easy to explain. So it's been quite some time since I'm explaining. My friends also, they're not able to understand. And they always ask me, kya karti kya hua phir tum? So basically, I'll tell you in short, we execute, ideate, and implement campaigns, right? Okay. So in short, when we get a client, we have a political party who gives us this job that, okay, this is a particular election, you're working with us for this election. Our entire job is to build a perception for them and help them win, right? So we do campaign management in short, but again, campaign management itself is such a vast area that they have started this entire course on it now.
Yeah.
So, but in short, yeah, we go around executing campaigns, doing fun activities, being on field, gathering intelligence, data mining, profiling, and a lot of other things. It's like a very, very, very vast area. And I'm still exploring, to be very honest.
All right. Okay. So let me ask you one thing. You said you basically are campaign managers. You're outsourced campaign managers, technically, right? So now I used to see it in the US movies, Hollywood movies. There's a campaign and there's a proper office and you're crunching out numbers and seeing what to do, what's not to do, things like that. So now tell me, is it exactly the way we see it in movies? Like, do you exactly travel to places, look at meet people, and how do you calculate? What's the process of basically calculating how many people are going to vote for this? What's polling like? What's exit polling for you?
Okay, so I'll answer that question separately. So firstly, everything that we had seen in movies, that okay, this is how a campaign execution runs, is actually like that. It's very filmy. The first time I got into it, I was an intern. So for me, it was also exciting that at times you are awake at 6 going for newspaper insert. That time you're sitting in a lavish room with top political leaders trying to understand their perspective, creating manifestos, seeing meetings happening for manifestos and everything. So it's actually a lot like it, which I thought it wouldn't be, because unlike law, movies and reality was quite different there. It wasn't the case there. So it was very exciting for me also when I joined in, and also very challenging, because when you are dealing with such high profile people and sitting in a very 5-star office, you feel intimidated. Your ideas aren't coming at that time. You're like, what can I do to fit in?
Yeah.
But it's a looming industry right now. So they're also innovating a lot of things. A lot of things are happening, which are happening for the first time in India or in world. So like that, it's a very challenging day in office also per se, because you don't know what new thing will come today. Right. Exit polls actually are a altogether different ball game. Okay. So when war rooms happen, we call it war rooms. So on the last day, the citizens' mobilization and participation in politics is something that we have been doing throughout the campaign on ground. But last day is very important because that's the day when we can actually count the numbers, right? That how many people you think will actually vote for you. So there's no exact mechanism to monitor a war room. But what you do is that you have a lot of people who are sitting at booth levels. They're called booth level agents, etc. You keep coordinating with them, and you see the voter turnout and how's the every the entire engagement module there, and how are people reciprocating to your activities. So that is how you gather the numbers in war room.
Okay, that's a big word, very interesting, very exciting life it seems. But before I get more into campaign IPAC, which is the major part of our segment, I first want to say you're from Lucknow, right? Tum karti kya ho? Tum kya karti ho? Not tu kya karti hai, tum kya karti ho? That leja, because I was born in Lucknow, and a lot of people don't know this. I think nobody knows this. And to the 3 people watching from Lucknow, we are from the same school, prestigious, and probably the only CBSE school in Lucknow, study hall, where the teachers are called auntie.
Auntie. I think that has got to be the USP of study hall. What is your school famous for? Teachers are called auntie.
And and best is till 7th grade, no exams. I mean, I remember 8th. Acha, because when I went in 2nd, 3rd, I just went there for 2nd and 3rd grade. Then my parents thought he must have a future, so they changed my school. And
I studied there till 12th. I am having a future, Jalaj.
Yes. No, I'm sure. My parents got transferred. But I'm sure, yeah. Okay, for people, those who don't know study hall is like a makeshift school. Like, they were like, chalo, bana dete hain. Koi CBSE school nahi hai. And I honestly, it was the best time of my life. There was, and बहुत आराम से वैन में लोग होते थे, कुछ भी होता था, मतलब वो स्कूल में
fun times.
So I think it's becoming irrelevant for people who are not from Lucknow. So all right, so first of all, let me ask you, how did you get into this? Like, how did IPAC happen? Like, what was that thing that I must work for campaigning or something?
Yeah, but recently I've started giving people this answer. ऐसे ही sexy लग रहा था, which is very true.
Oh, my audience is intellectual, यार, talk in English, sexy नहीं use कर सकते आप, ठीक है? हाँ. नहीं, use it.
So, yeah. No, this is like that question, where people say if I had a nickel for every time someone asks me that question. So, a lot of people ask me why IPAC and how did you go into IPAC. But if you remember, the first time we met in Bali, I had no clue about IPAC. Okay, one of my friend's brother has joined IPAC, and I even asked this question that to Heather, that do you think going into IPAC is a good option, or should I continue with the law firm?
Yeah.
So we didn't come to a conclusion then, and that idea just went, like, I never thought, okay, I'll pursue this or something. But then January, I was just sitting randomly getting done with my exams for second last semester, and one of my best friends in college, Soham, texted me and he said that IPAC is coming to Maharashtra for Lok Sabha elections. I think you should join. I was like, dude, like 3 months internship, last 3 months of college. There's no harm. I can try it. Everyone thought I won't be able to do it because the office was like 32 kilometers from my place, and I didn't used to take locals in Bombay. So everyone thought I will leave it. But surprisingly, I loved it. So the first time I went there, I met my director and my executive council members and all the other associates. I was like, dude, this is something very interesting, very different. I know this is nothing to do with law, but I feel like I belong here. And I continued like the 3-month internship. And I was like, I can't wait to come back here again. So that is how IPAC actually happened, because of the people, because of the work, because it was something so different, and also because I think for middle class people, if you think politics is like always a high profile thing, you can't enter it, you need loads of money and everything. But IPAC, when I saw this opportunity that you actually get to understand what politics is at root, like ground level and everything, it's very interesting because a lot of people I met wanted to be politicians. So for them, it was a very good platform, right? And I thought that maybe I can give it a try. I don't know where this will lead, but at that moment, I really loved the work. I surprisingly like the party I was working for then. So I thought, let's continue and see where it goes. So that's how IPAC happened.
Now coming back to a bit of law school, you said it's not related to law, but I think once you go into law school in general, first of all, it's 5 years. Plus, you keep interning, you keep meeting new people. There's so much to do, and you're never in a hurry in law school because it's 5 years. Probably first 3 years you're like, you know what, I can do this, that. So I think first of all you build a network, and second of all, like, pata hai, matlab, like hame बेवकूफ नहीं बना सकते. That thing comes, right? Like, when you see a policeman, you don't get scared. Like, once you've done law, you're like, maybe, like, that thing comes.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, a policeman, this is an opportunity to argue and show off.
Yeah. That's what I think. So, in general, I think law in general, your analytical skills improves, and, your general understanding of how the government works and how decisions are taken on daily basis. I think it's better option than doing a BA in political science also, because your understanding of the government machinery just increases tenfold.
Yeah, like definitely, because politics and law always have had that intersection, and it's required for a democracy. And it's very interesting. Even my director is a lawyer. He studied in NLIU. A lot of my colleagues are lawyers. And when you study law, you understand a lot of things, like Representation of People's Act. You understand the Constitution pe politics ho rahi aajkal. So it's like very interesting. It's all intermingled, and it has to be, like, law has to be there in politics somewhere. I don't use it per se, except when the elections are very near and we have to deal with the election commission and everything. But apart from that, it's like chill.
So how was your life in Bombay? Were you like a chill student, or were you like working very hard every day? I'm going to make it. Chill, no? Kafi.
I hope my parents won't see this video, but like 5 years in Bombay were like pretty nice, because I think this is a secret that GLC doesn't have attendance issues, right? So we actually made a lot of interesting things because we couldn't go to college, or we didn't want to go to college. See, GLC, when I went to Bombay, the senior of mine told me that GLC is like a buffet. You will get everything that you want to get, but no one will come and spoon feed it to you. So you need to see where you want to be after 5 years. So I was pretty sure that I don't want to waste like 5 years, but I don't want to attend lectures also unnecessarily, because that's a privilege I have. So I decided to do a lot of other things. I got engaged in debating societies, moods, and like, like interning, obviously, and like just chilling also. But yeah, 5 years of fun, because we also learn a lot of things. Bombay teaches you a lot of things, and that helps you in life, like searching for flats and trying to deal with your own broker, electricity, all of these things. I think other friends who were studying in LUs didn't have to face, which is good for them. But it's also kind of a lesson that you need in life.
Yeah. No, also about GLC, when I used to go for my CLAT coaching, the logic I used to get is that if you're not getting top 3 for NLUs, you should go to MNLU Bombay. Because MNLU Bombay will be like GLC, you could intern all the time and probably intern for 6 months, get a job. So GLC, everything is accessible because you're in there. Like, you are in the middle of everything. But MNLU's campus is on Hawaii. So
yeah, see, you know what? I'll tell you a very interesting story.
Yeah.
So my first ever parliamentary debate was GNLU 2014. And I went there and we were eating the mess And then we went to that cricket ground right outside the academic block and everything. So I was sitting there, I was telling this guy from GNLU only, I don't remember his name now, but I told him that, wow, you guys have a great campus and like common mess, and like you can roam here and there and go eat Maggie with friends and everything. So he just smiled and he told me, dude, the entire Bombay is your campus. Like Marine Drive is your campus, Kolaba is your campus. And that actually happened, you know. Like the location that GLC is at is one of the like greatest thing about the college. So we use that.
So guess what? GLC is not paying us, so we will move on to the next question. Okay, so what were the, okay, so as a law, like what, you're 23, 24, right? So what were the, like, I'm sure, and plus you have a lot of exposure. So I think I can ask you this, what were the 2-3 turning points in your life? Like, what was your biggest failure? Things like that, where you were like, okay, that has made me the person I am.
Honestly, this failure question is like every interview people ask this, and I'm always like, I'm too young to honestly answer that.
Not an interview. Because... not an interview. This is a podcast.
No, I'm telling you in general about interviews, like all the PPO interviews, everything that happened. They asked me, what is the biggest failure in your life? And I was just like, when I was in class 6, I got 0 in one of my maths test. Until date, I feel that is the biggest failure. I know it isn't, but I think a lot of things were quite safe till now. Now is the time when I actually will take the risk and get to the failure part. So till now, everything was like pretty okay. Nothing as such which I can term as failure.
Yeah.
But turning points I certainly have. So I think one turning point in life was my grandfather, because he was always involved in social work. He led his life with like 2-3 simple shero shairi jo karte hain, unke 3 favorite the, and he led his life along with those shero shairis that this is something that will happen in life. I'll remember this. I want to help out others. I cannot defy destiny. And let's see, everything happens for a reason. So I somehow always looked up to him. I always wanted to go into social sector. My entire family is like scientists, geologists, physicists. So for me, going to law was pretty different at that time, but it all happened because of my grandfather.
That public life, that aspect comes. That aspect of public life, that is very enlightening.
Yeah. That public life, and that entire thing that becoming a people's person is important for me came from him. I don't want to do a desk job ever, to be honest.
Also, you have that, I think you have that Lucknow in you also, a poet, and, the way you network with people, the way you talk, I think that's there. And I must tell it to the viewers, she's an amazing poet and things like that. And now coming to next part, like when I met you, you always said, I want to be a politician at the end. You have that. You're not, and I remember you said that to everyone, not just to me, personal conversation or something. Like you have that ambition. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people stumble into politics. So tell me about that. Like so what's next for you after I-PAC? Like if you want to be a politician, what's the journey that you have in your mind?
See, actually, I joined I-PAC with the idea that I'll get to know the ways I have to become a politician, right? And joining I-PAC actually gave me a lot of clarity about it, right? So now when I understand that today the political scenario is so different, right? And we have come a long way from Shining India campaign in 2004 to Abki Baar Modi Sarkar, right? Everything has changed. Like, earlier, when you had very close and loyal workers of a leader who used to go out and shout, क्या था वो, जब तक सूरज चांद रहेगा, गुड्डू भैया का नाम रहेगा, to like rap songs by Modi ji.
समोसे में आलू रहे.
So, like when you see that a lot of things have changed in this scenario, you understand that now people are actually looking for credibility in their politicians. People are somewhere looking for, okay, this person needs to speak well, needs to address my issues. They're actually concerned about manifestos. Because even if you look at Akhilesh Yadav's campaign in 2017, you know who he hired for his political strategist? Steve Jardine from Harvard. right? And he lost because it was not just about the campaigns that you are executing at that point. It was also about what was happening, what were you doing, how was your manifesto, how's your groundwork and everything. So all of this gave me an idea that how difficult it actually is, man. It's not just about speeches and bhashans that we think it is. It's not just about money. It's about a lot more. So I have a lot more
Marketing.
to work on.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Marketing, advertising, competition. Yes, definitely all of that. But like for me personally, I think I need to work on my social skills a lot more, networking skills a lot more.
Pretty good at it, man.
And actually, yeah, I am good. I know that. And this is actually one thing I like to tell all the law students also, that I think networking is very important. And from first year, if I did something, that was networking, because I think that is something that will definitely help you in any sphere you are going to go, right? So I don't know what's next. I'm still learning a lot of things. Did Maharashtra, West Bengal is like completely a different political scenario right now. So I'm trying to understand that. Let's see where it goes. I'm trying to work myself. Hopefully someday politics will happen individually.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. And now, that's a very exciting life. So let me ask you quite specific questions, Okay, so once I met you in Gurgaon and you told me that you now are going to districts and actually touring the whole constituency and then collecting data, and you stayed there for a month or something, right? How does that work? Like, okay, like you get a call one day and you're like, you're going to that district for a month and I don't know, get some groundwork done. I don't know how this happens.
Actually, I stayed there around 20 days. I had to come back. I had an injury, but there were people who have been on field for more than 6 months, more than 7 months. They come to cities in like once a month or something, thrice a month, or maybe yearly visits to a big city. That is how their life is, right? So like being on field is one of the most difficult parts of being in political consultancy, because you can make hundreds of campaign, ideate hundreds of strategies and everything, but then how will it impact the people on ground? You can't actually do anything, right? So when I went to the districts, I went to Satara, which is one of the districts in Maharashtra, and we used to go there, do in-depth interviews with a lot of influencers and like leaders, and then know like what is the and normal people also, like common citizens on some chai ki shop or randomly in a temple. I just used to talk to people and understand what are the issues they are facing or what kind of political scenario is there at that moment in that particular district. Because from village to village, the political sentiments of people differ a lot, and to capture them accurately, you need to spend time with them as one of them. You just can't sit here in a city calling them, "Ha sir, bataiye kya issue hai?" There were some insane issues that they faced, right? And you could not understand if you couldn't see what is actually happening there at that moment.
Yeah.
So that.
Also, we think politics is a very unorganized sector. Is it actually that unorganized?
Yes, it's actually very, very, very unorganized. And every time, like, I have some issue, I go up to my manager. I'm like, this is so unorganized. He's like, yeah, what can be done? And then we ideate that how can we make it organized? So we make a tracker, we set a reporting mechanism and everything. But in the end, it becomes unorganized because everything is happening in real time, right? Something new will come up every second. You don't know what is the new development that's happening. So you can't expect it to be organized. You can expect it to be nicely done in the end. That's it.
All right. Also, okay, I have heard stories, and these stories are that when, for example, there's a speech of you need 20, 30,000 people. So the minister comes, and especially if you're in the ruling government, the minister comes, and then he is called the head of NHAI, head of railways in the state, head of this, and they said, "Aaj tum toll maaf karoge," and then you will ask the other people that, okay, so today you have to send so many trucks to bring people. Today you're going to be paying them this thing. So is this actually true? Are people who are coming for rallies, do they not even know that what rallies they're going for?
everyone knows that people who are coming to any rally, somehow some of them are true followers, right? Like I met some true followers of Bala Saheb Thackeray in Maharashtra. Whenever I used to mention his name, they used to cry that, oh my God, what a man. And they have his portraits and everything. I see people worshipping Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal currently, right? So there are a lot of people who just want to be there because they worship the leader or because they love the party or because of someone who was once present in the party, right? But there are a lot of people who are called from outside, who like their presidents, district president, block president will tell them that, okay, this event is happening and you should come. But always the opposition side also knows this, right? So they also keep on doing a lot of tactics to stop this. So I don't know if you know this, but long time ago, Indira Gandhi actually broadcasted the blockbuster Bobby on DD National so that people do not go for the rally of opposition party, which was an excellent move as a political strategist, right? So everyone does a lot of things in order to be the best. It's all about competition and numbers in the end, so they keep doing everything that they can at their end.
That's a smart thing. Also, we also want you to have a job at the end of this podcast. So we will talk about these tactics pre-2014. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I completely understand. If you like, obviously there are professional hazards, because even I have also seen a lot of things go down, at law offices and things like that, and you don't know what's happening. Okay. Yeah. So also, how do you measure professional growth in your field? Okay, you want to be a politician, so obviously the professional growth from IPAC will be, all right, I work for a political party now, or I am doing this, that. But if someone is like, okay, I love campaigning and I don't want to be a politician, how do you measure professional growth in your field?
See, I'll tell you something. I have met a lot of people who want to do a lot of things in their life. They're clueless. That is why they're in IPAC. Some of them just want to explore. That is why they're in IPAC. Some of them are travelers, want to travel and be son of soils and spend life in villages and everything. That is why they're in IPAC. So, like, I'm not being politically correct here at all. I'm just being very blunt and honest about why people join IPAC. All right. So, I know a lot of people who join IPAC because it will look good on their CV. They want to go for masters.
Yeah.
It looks nice that you have worked on ground. The real India, hungry India, poor India. So a lot of people join for that. A lot of people actually join because they're involved in digital marketing. They want to see how the political campaign entire scenario is changing digitally and everything. As you said about campaign, like making the songs and everything is one part, campaign ads and everything is one part, thinking about the campaign is one part. Some people are genuinely interested in that, right? Like they just want to be campaign management people. They want to be the ones who execute the campaign and not be the face of the campaign, right? So for them, I think currently it's a great time because I read this somewhere, the 2014 elections was the most expensive election in the history of elections ever, after the US presidential campaign, obviously, which is huge for India. Like, you understand the amount of opportunities that lie in this sector currently, right? Everyone individually, MLAs, MPs, they are hiring political consultants because, as I told you, everything is changing. So now you just cannot go with your stupid Chad Sitara slogans and go and win people, right? There needs to be a chord that strikes with people. There needs to be something very sophisticated that clicks with everyone out there who needs to vote for you, right? I think like Modi's first voter campaign that happened, that if you're the first voter, why should you vote for me and everything, right? That clicked excellently with people. So a lot of things, when you are an IPAC or any other political consultancy firm, what you need to know is that what are you looking for, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will want to go into politics. A lot of them will just like to learn what is happening. A lot of them just want to be there so that they understand the politics and everything. They want to go into public policy later on. So they just are trying to learn how things happen on ground and then maybe join something like civil services or something, right? So it depends on your perception of what you want to learn from this entire exercise in your life, basically.
Also, plus a lot of money comes out during this. All the money that politicians accumulate during their reign, all of that comes out also. So, okay.
इसी के लिए तो कमा रहे हैं यार कि दोबारा कमा सके.
Also, okay, okay. So I what I gathered from it is it's a bunch of young people doing new things, and like no one knows what is going to happen in the next 10 years, but you're having a ball. That's the
Yeah, it's like electioneering is the new shiz these days. Okay, everyone wants to do it because it's fun.
Yeah.
You don't know, but I know for sure. Like I can tell this that it's not going to end anytime soon.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because there's not one single day when you see your Facebook or Instagram without one politician or one political party or one political party's IT cell doing something crazy out there. Right? So it's not going to end. It's going for a good amount of time now.
Also, does IPAC have competitors? I mean, are there like a lot of political consultants agencies in India? Because we actually, we don't hear about these things. We just hear the politician. Because give us an insight. So about the field, is there a lot of competition?
See, I won't say there's a lot of competition as such because there's a lot of opportunity, right? So everyone gets a client easily.
Yeah.
Plus, IPAC was the first firm in this sector, right? It was India's first political advocacy firm. So IPAC was the benchmark for all the other political consultancy firms, and a lot of people from IPAC only left and made their own political consultancy firms. So it's actually the byparts of IPAC that you see out there, because like there's Jarvis, there's APM, there are a lot of urban politics and a lot of new firms coming up these days. But I think all of them get clients easily because somewhere, someplace, some election is taking place. Municipal elections, assembly elections, general elections. Some MLA just wants them to be there for their intel gathering, or maybe designing slogans or something. So these politicians are hiring political consultants and strategists for a lot of things these days. Right? So for example, if they created some policy, right, when they promise that if we get elected, we will implement this. Now they'll hire a political strategist to maybe implement that policy, to maybe give him idea that how can this be made better, or what are the research points. So people are just trying to be more professional with politics these days. And that is why it's a good opportunity. And competition as such is not there, because IPAC is on a different league right now. I won't say there's competition. I haven't seen as such.
Also, you talked about hiring political strategists for policies, because I was going through IPAC's website also, and I saw that they are not just campaigning for politicians. If there's a policy or if there's something, they also market for them. So it's a very technical question, but when a political party hires a political strategist for a policy, does the central government officially is hiring them or the party?
The party hires them, or the MLA hires them. Central, whenever they hire someone through the entire tender thing and everything, right? They will obviously hire you in a ministry or something to give them insights and everything, like Niti Aayog, Planning Commission, whatever you want to call it, or like be in some external affairs ministry as an associate or something. But when these people hire them, they hire a particular company privately to be with them and to guide them at whatever policy they want to implement.
Campaigning is it's not like you just campaign before the elections, so basically if you are with politicians, you are with them all the time. That's it. Also
See, earlier when elections used to happen, election campaigning, I think you will also remember, was mostly 1 month or so, with all the rickshaws and all the vans with the videos of Haath and Kamal going around in the colony. That was it. We didn't know a lot about it, right? But now, because of the competition, because of the awareness that people have, and because we also try to mobilize participation of citizens in this entire democracy, everything has changed, right? So like we start working for the people and the campaign and everything way before the election date. And it's a good thing, I feel personally. So yeah, a lot of them hire with according to their budget.
But these things have come up in 2000s, right? Because I don't think the 90s where someone was advising Mr. Advani ki chalo yathratra nikalte hain, best campaign.
Yeah, I think also in 2000s when Feel Good campaign by Atal Bihari Vajpayee came, or India Shining India campaign came and everything, I don't think we were as such aware that this is all a career opportunity. We just looked at it as an ad, okay, that wow, what an ad, nice song and everything. We never thought, and a lot of people still don't think that this is a career opportunity, right? Like most of the people I know, their parents don't agree to this. My parents personally was like, why did you do law when you had to go into this? Because politics still for parents is like dirty game. You don't want the child to be involved in it or something like that. So awareness about this wasn't present ever.
Plus,
We were never told that okay.
Plus, our population is now becoming more mature, right? Our population is becoming mature. So I
Yeah,
think,
our population is becoming mature, and also we have exposure to social media, we have exposure to Google. We can just check that who made this campaign, who was behind the idea of run for unity or statue for unity, and you get the answer. Back then you didn't have that option. You were like, okay, this ad is played by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but who is behind that idea? You never knew. You never cared actually. I didn't.
yeah, that's true. Also, Sansriti, you know that you told me about how data mining is becoming one of the new trends in political campaigns. And so, how do you accumulate data and how do you implement that? You know, how do you use that data?
Okay, so I personally I'm not involved with the data team as such because I'm a lawyer.
I'm
And
not
they
looking.
don't
Best
want
political
data
consultant.
team.
I'm
No,
lawyer.
for them, I'm a lawyer. Like internally, also in our office, we have a lot of like MBA grads and public policy grad lawyers, and data people, engineers, a lot of engineers.
Yeah.
So they have people for data teams. So they don't need me as such. Also because I'm really bad with technology, but I go to data team a lot for help. So I know what exactly they help me with. For example, if I want to go and I go to a district, right? I don't know anything about that district. Who will give me the data? How many GPs are there? How many districts are there? Who all to call if I need to? What are the population ratios of ST, SC, general, Muslims, OBC in that particular village, in that particular assembly constituency, in that particular parliamentary constituency, and they do a lot of other things which I'm not honestly aware of.
Okay, so Sansriti, also, how do you deal with personal biases? Because obviously, IPAC is a big organization with 100 people,
Yeah.
200 people working for a same campaign. So let's not get specific here. Just tell me. So you're not just working for a national election, right? That is what. So it's not BJP versus Congress. So for example, you're working in Calcutta,
Yeah.
and you're politicizing a certain MLA or a person, So how do you
Yeah.
keep that aside? How do you okay, I don't agree with the policies, but I'm going to make sure that he wins and those policies get implemented.
So, yeah, to be very honest, like if you come to IPAC and we go on a chai sutta break that people mostly go on,
Yeah.
we all keep discussing just about this. That what is the flaw in this policy? Why do we not like this party and everything? So personally, all of us have a very different perception about each party we are working for, right? I was also not very thrilled when I got to know that I have to work with certain parties.
Yeah.
But then I had asked this question to my manager at that time, and he told me, see, even I don't like this party. But the thing is that when we're working very professionally. It's a reflection on what we can do for them, and I'm not asking you to go and vote for them. If you are voting, just go and vote for someone very different. I don't care. But what your work here is to portray what they are doing in a right manner, to make campaigns where you can change the perception or build a nice perception for the leader you're working for and everything. And that is like your job, like it's everywhere, right? So still I feel like when you get like currently when we got this recently AAP election, Delhi elections, and we are working for AAP. So a lot of us wanted to go and work in Delhi because personal bias, right? We wanted to work for AAP as a party, right? But we don't get that choice. So you are stuck wherever you are, and you have to make your peace with it. And honestly, when I am working with a certain leader or a certain party, I actually do not associate him with that particular ideology that his party is following at that particular moment. And I want to know what are his personal beliefs. Is that man capable enough to be a people's representative and everything? So when I'm working with them very personally, one-to-one level, meeting them regularly, I get to know them as person. And then it becomes quite easy, right? Then your personal biases are like, okay, this party is doing this, but what is his ideology?
You look at things
Right.
at policy level, and
Yeah.
honestly, when you look at things at policy level, no, things are not right or wrong. Things are just what you think will be better. So
Yeah.
it's easier to think, because obviously what we hear is a very distilled version of what comes. Like for example, BJP also, when I look at things, we hear that some politician somewhere said something against the minority. But that is not your job, right? You're looking at policies and saying, all right, this is the policy. We need to get it out to people. So I get it. I get what you're...
No, actually, that is also kind of our work, that keep a tap on who's saying what and everything. But fortunately, since the day I have joined this organization, I have always been told to do the right thing, to portray the right thing, to advertise on the right grounds. I have not been asked to go and, sell and bribe people with alcohol and do that shit which we think politicians actually do. For me, it's been a very professional journey, and we stick to that. Because we do not go and become karyakartas of a party, right? We have to maintain our professionalism. So for us, it's very easy, because ideologically, I tell a lot of them that, okay, I have been in Bombay, I have faced certain issues, I don't like this particular party, right? So, and they have been like very receptive of my opinion also, because they think that, okay, this is a voter who's talking to me. That is what my perception is outside. So they also want to work on it. So in general, like, politicians aren't that bad. At least the ones I've met, they want to take and like have at least a good public image.
No, plus my perception of I-PAC is it's a very professional organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I see you have educated people working. It's not like anyone is coming and working. So I'm sure there's a certain moral level that you guys will never, go down below.
Yeah.
That is fair. I mean, because a lawyer also represents murderers, right? Part of the job.
Exactly. See, when as a lawyer you look at a policy, you always see ye legal hai ya nahi hai, and then you think moral hai ya nahi hai, right? So it's the same thing here. You look at it like morally, okay, fine, maybe I can debate this, but practically, can this be implemented? Will it benefit some people or something? So that is how we go about it. When you're working with a party that you personally love, or you personally follow or idolize a leader, then it becomes very different, because you're personally invested, right? So you want to track, okay, how is my campaign doing? How are the people reacting to this? Is this a good thing for them? With some parties you don't like, you're just like, okay, let me do my work. If it has to be, then it will work. Otherwise, it won't.
Also, now, so India's population currently, if you see the demographic dividend, India's young population is at the highest. All right. And most of them are internet users. Around 60% of India's population has internet. The other 40%, obviously, even if they don't have it, they are influenced by it, right? Because it's a medium out there. So now tell me, how do you keep the balance between what appeals to young population and what appeals to old population? Or is there a difference at all? I mean, what's your strategy?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of difference. Like when you're appealing to the youth, your campaigns are very different, right? So last year, this day, we were actually doing a flash mob in Mumbai, right? Which is a kind of political campaign which can be executed only in a city like Bombay, I feel. But like flash mobs in particular, are something which will appeal only to the young crowd, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of senior citizens want to go live and watch someone dance on Gully Boy's song.
Yeah.
But a lot of young people are really thrilled by it. Oh my God, what a progressive way. Oh my God, this leader is also like us and everything, right? So that's a great idea for them. I saw a lot of people, like, I know this politician personally, not through I-PAC, who used to go and just chit chat and play some video games with the youth, like PUBG and something. It made a great impact on them, right? So
Modi ji.
now when
No, this-
no. So
Yeah.
I want to keep my job and my life after this podcast.
Just kidding.
So yeah, but for the generation like who have seen political campaigns through door-to-door campaigning only, it's a bit different for sure. Yes, they still look forward to manifestos and policies. They are not attracted by digital media campaigns and everything, which is so glamorous and all. So when we are doing a campaign, we often look at the ratio of people, youth, the age number. Data team gives us that at times, that okay, this particular district has this number of people between the age group of 20 to 25. Make your campaigns accordingly. There are so many women are facing issues. Make your campaigns accordingly. So every time you're catering like first time voter campaign, Modi ji knew that there's so many first time voters. That is why he made that entire campaign, right? If he knew that there are only 10 people who are going to vote as first time voters, it was a useless strategy to invest so much time, money, and everything on that campaign.
That's why during Lok Sabha elections, no one goes to Northeast. Like, ask seaten. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the numbers. Like,
They're like-
no, UP पे
they're like,
ध्यान देंगे.
Because they're like, let's go to UP, let's get our 70 seats,
Yeah.
let's put, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Because that's why I'm coming to my last question now. You know, democracy, because I remember my political science professor said, democracy is nothing but a paradox of numbers. It's the 51-49 part, right? Who has, yeah. So don't you ever feel that because you have looked at this, the procedures so closely, don't you ever feel ki, what the hell, like, is this how things happen? Don't you ever feel disheartened? You know, that these are the domestic, what the parties are doing?
Yeah, honestly, I have cried a lot during this entire journey because I remember the first time I went to Palghar, which was a very peaceful place back then, unlike now. So I saw this lady whose son got killed in some war that happened sometime, and she had lost her mental stability, and she was just crying looking at me, and she's like, I haven't received the promised pension and everything, and she was just crying loudly, and I didn't know what to do. I felt angry at the MLA or MP, whosoever was supposed to give her the promised pension, everything. I went to a tribal place where I saw people just coming to me and telling me their problems because they thought that I might be able to help them in some way. I couldn't. All I could do was maybe pass it on or listen to them and comfort them. But a lot of like the particular MLA who came from that tribal village was at a very powerful position and he could have done a lot. People were dying due to hunger at that place. He didn't do anything. All of that really made me sad. I went to Satara. It became the wettest place on India, crossing Cherrapunji at that time, right?
Yeah.
And I saw like the dams opening in front of me and the villages were getting flooded and people were like, I don't know what to do. And then someone said that, Are, don't worry, our MLA is very nice, he'll come and help us. So there are a lot of stories that you get. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. So it's sometimes it's like, you know that hate them or love them, these are the people who can actually do something, and it will be nice if they are able to do something. But at times we all know how it is. They're all like sometimes caring enough, sometimes because they want to show it to the world, but at times, mostly I think according to the stories and news that I see, they don't care, man. And that's the sad part, because the entire political scenario we have created these days is just sad.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
So I got a bit, I was just thinking about a lot of things, and it's sad, but I don't know. That's the we are going. I don't know. Like, I'm sure when people like you enter into politics, I'm sure things will get better.
No, honestly, hoping that when I went and saw such educated IIM, IIT, and NLU grads in IPAC, I was like, okay, they want to do something. That is why they are in IPAC, right? They want to be in this sector or something. So if these people actually go, if they want to make it professional, if they want to make it all about like right politics, talking about the things that actually matter, that will be a great thing.
Yeah.
So that's a hope that I have with political advocacy firms and electioneering actually at the peak right now in this country, that it will help a lot of people in getting a platform that they deserve.
Yeah. No, because there's a wave of majoritism also going on, right? And that's the most dangerous, because there the point goes that what is education, what is literacy. You go towards, like, I don't want to say anything specific because obviously it's a sensitive issue and you also job chahiye. But but if you think about it now, the question is like, the worst form of ridiculing someone is, instead of attacking their policies, you're attacking them personally. Like calling Rahul Gandhi Pappu. Like, obviously that was funny when I was in 10th grade, but now that I think about it, it's the worst form of politics, if yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, that's just like the part which we do not like about politics, but it's like everywhere, man. Like, you need to pull someone down in order to rise above them. Until unless you have some really strong ground to be, like, I have done this, like Arvind Kejriwal did. He did not get involved in all of this, right? He gave his report card and everything that this is what I've done. So I think that is probably a good trend that is coming in. I hope.
Yeah, but where Kejriwal was situated is also very important, right? You can have a politics on report card in Delhi, Bombay. You can have that in Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, because the population in general is educated. People have access to amenities. But if you think about it, you have that in probably, I don't know if you have that in, tier 3 district. नहीं मतलब नहीं होगा यार, मतलब जहाँ पे
so the entire cow belt that you have here in the center of we call it cow belt.
Yeah.
So here politics is very different, man, and you know it. Everyone knows it. Yeah. Like, you talk about Ramji and you'll get your way through everything. So it's just sad, but yeah, it will take a lot of time and a lot of efforts from the part of politicians, from the part of social sector, like people who are working towards these things, schools, the education and everything. I just saw recently that CBSE has this question about campaign management and all, and how is political management happening and everything, which is interesting because they're trying to teach people about these things. So maybe somewhere down the line, UP में ऐसी politics हो सकती है. It's not a very far side or something.
I believe, plus also I believe whenever things have gotten out of balance, that happened in Indira Gandhi's time also, that happened during both the world wars. Whenever one leader has emerged as majority and has done too much, has been unfair to the citizens, they have learned their lesson. So what disheartens me is that it is happening, that in probably next 4 or 5 years going to be tough, but obviously there will be a positive thing. Because, Churchill, right? So Winston Churchill, father of modern Britain.
Yeah, I know Churchill. We're like best friends.
No. So he said, democracy is the worst form of government, but other governments are worse.
Worse.
Yeah.
True.
Now, ending on an intellectual note, thank you for being there. And
yes, thank you.
Thank you बोलो अच्छे से बोलो जलज बहुत अच्छे हो तुम.
Thank you, Jalaj. Vote मुझे को देना.
Alright, it's a wrap, guys. Thank you.
I just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah.